Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish series stars. I hope you're having a calm moment wherever you are, because what we're about to talk about has stirred the entire celebrity universe and left even the most seasoned fans in stunned silence. Today's revelation is the kind that makes you pause your day and replay every moment you thought you understood about a beloved pair. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and turn on notifications, because you won't want to miss what comes next. Let's dive in. From the title, you already know who we're talking about, Yaman and Demet Özdemir. Just saying their names brings to mind that magnetic chemistry, the kind that crosses borders and languages. He, the globe-trotting leading man with a disciplined energy and a career that seems to gather momentum with every new role. She, an actress whose versatility has drawn audiences into dramas, romances, and personal moments that feel disarmingly honest. Together, they've been the couple fans point to when imagining a fairy tale in the fast lane, glamorous but grounded, passionate yet private, two stars orbiting the same sun. For years, their images at premieres, festivals, and charity events painted a portrait of synchronicity. Their social media glimpses, small gestures, shared smiles, stolen looks, invited millions into their story. People felt like they were walking alongside them, choosing outfits, learning routines, and celebrating milestones. That closeness made them feel almost like friends rather than unreachable icons, and it created a bond that seemed as resilient as it was enviable. But life, as we know, loves a plot twist. The earliest murmurs drifted in softly, almost shyly, a comment here, an observation there. Then a thread on a forum, a collage of clues on an anonymous account, a late-night podcast speculating about silence. At first, nothing stood firmly enough to be called news. And yet, the whispers thickened. They gathered weight, and then, like summer clouds dropping rain without warning, reports from sources described as close, very close, suggested that Can and Demet were navigating a complicated chapter. Not a fleeting disagreement, not a momentary chill, but a genuinely fragile period that could alter what they've built. The pressures that come with fame can be both addictive and corrosive. Every camera favors them, every headline follows them, and every set of eyes dissects what should be ordinary, private moments. With separate projects chasing them across countries, with shoots that run into sunrise, with obligations multiplied by their global reach, carving out time for each other is not just difficult, it's a relentless negotiation against the clock. Opportunities keep arriving, and with them, sacrifices. Different scripts, different cities, different calendars. You can love each other and still feel like you're living one step apart. Those who know them, or say they do, describe something that doesn't sound like a fading love so much as an exhausted timeline. The spark is not gone, they insist, it's just flickering behind heavy schedules, misunderstandings that don't get solved because the next flight leaves in an hour, and the next take starts in 2. When calls turn into texts and texts turn into double-tapped hearts, everything feels a little less immediate, a little more fragile. It's the kind of distance that isn't measured in miles, but in missed chances to talk when it mattered most. Inevitably, the entertainment ecosystem started hunting for culprits. In this industry, on-screen chemistry can blur lines for eager imaginations. Rumors of third parties fluttered in like moths to a spotlight, unverified and unfairly persistent. Let's be clear, there is no confirmed evidence. Yet the notion, even as a shadow, is difficult to shake once it enters the conversation. Commentators began parsing old interviews and recent photos. Every gesture was reinterpreted. Every absence turned into a theory. The story took on a life of its own, fed by conjecture rather than facts. What seems to have solid footing, though, is the decision they reportedly made to step back and breathe. Not an ending, but a pause. A deliberate slowing of the clock to consider how to hold on to what matters. If this is true, it's the kind of choice that doesn't happen overnight. It likely came after long talks, a few tears, a few silences, and a lot of honesty. When two people who are constantly on display decide to retreat and reflect, you can almost feel the courage it takes to prioritize the private over the public. Demet, ever the professional, appears to be channeling her energy into projects that allow her to explore new shades of herself, stories that challenge her craft, commitments that align with her values. Ken remains an unmistakable force, with roles that demand physical intensity and international travel, carrying a work ethic that doesn't leave much room for distraction. The logistics of being a couple under these circumstances is like orchestrating an opera where every instrument is playing in a different hall. Holding the melody becomes heroic. All of this, we must stress, exists in a cloud of leaks and whispers. There is no joint declaration, no coordinated message bearing their signatures. What fans have noticed, and are reading into, is the sudden quiet where there was once steady harmony, fewer shared posts, separate red carpet appearances, schedules that align less frequently. In the absence of clear answers, the imagination fills in the blanks, and sometimes that's more dangerous than the truth. The reaction online has been intense. Some fans have built a supportive circle, posting messages of love and patience, encouraging both to do whatever it takes to protect their peace. Others, more anxious or frustrated, have voiced disappointment, as if the fairy tale must be preserved to keep a certain hope alive. In the digital crowd, you'll find debate threads 100 comments deep, compilation videos comparing past and present, and heartfelt letters that read like prayers for reconciliation. It's astonishing how people who have never met them feel the tug of their story in such personal ways. Professionally, what does this mean? On the surface, not much should change immediately. They're both established, respected, and in demand. But artists carry their hearts into their work, and anyone who has watched them knows that feeling is a big part of their magic. A storm at home can bring either turbulence or transformation on set. Sometimes it sharpens the performance, sometimes it asks for rest. The optimistic take is that time apart might turn into growth, an opportunity to rediscover who they are as individuals, so they can decide, with clarity, what they want to be together. Perhaps that's the central truth here, only time will tell. What this moment reveals, more than anything, is that even the brightest stars are not immune to human weather. Love needs oxygen, and fame often steals it. The image we fall for is a snapshot, the relationship behind it is a whole film, with reshoots and rewrites and scenes that never make the final cut. Watching from the outside, we can root for an ending we prefer, but the story belongs to them. So, to pull the threads together, we've walked through the swirl around Can Yaman and Demet Özdemir, from the earliest tremors of rumor to the possibility of a carefully chosen pause, one made, it seems, to protect rather than destroy. We've considered the pressures of high-profile careers, the weight of constant attention, and the speculation that flares up whenever timing and distance conspire. We've noticed how their fans have reacted, some with devotion and others with confusion, and we've acknowledged that none of this is official until it comes from them. Until then, we listen with caution and compassion. Thank you for staying with us through this delicate conversation. If today's update left you reflective, you're not alone. Tell us what you think. Were you surprised? Do you believe that a pause can be a path back to something stronger? What would you say to them if you could? Share your thoughts below. We read everything, and the community here at Turkish Series Stars thrives on your insight. If this video resonated with you and you want more thoughtful coverage of your favorite stars, tap like, send this to a friend who's been following their journey, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. We'll be here to follow the story carefully, respectfully, and with the heart it deserves. See you in the next one.